Virtual machines are an exciting way to explore other operating systems without having to deal with the headache of boot disks or dual booting. Virtualization has opened up a whole new world in the information technology sector, primarily because of the lower cost invested in virtualizing various tasks. No longer do you need separate computer systems to provide services. Today I'm going to show you how to download, install, and configure a working virtual machine utilizing Oracle's VirtualBox. We will start with downloading the VirtualBox software and installing it to your local computer. Next, we will utilize the software wizard to build a virtual machine from scratch. First, come up with a name to call your virtual machine. The name can be anything from the type of service you wish to provide with it, i.e. DNS, or just name it after the operating system you plan to install. Now select from the drop-down menus the type of operating system and version. You will now need to tell VirtualBox how much physical memory to allocate to the machine. This memory will only be utilized when the virtual machine is powered on, so feel free to use up to 50% of your host machine's physical memory. I'm going to use 4 GB of RAM for this CentOS installation. Seeing as this is our first time building a virtual machine, we are going to need to create a new hard disk, so follow my selections in the video to create this new virtual disk. As a reminder, dynamically expanding hard disks can be problematic for different operating systems, so I recommend selecting a fixed size. For the next step, we need to make sure we allocate enough physical space on the hard drive to build an acceptable system. The CentOS installation requires at least 8 GB of space, but I will allocate 20 GB just for this example. To build the virtual drive, you must now click on Create. You can back out up to this point if you need to restart the process. If you find later on that you haven't allocated enough your virtual machine properly, you can always start over from scratch and increase or decrease your system allocations. Now we step into the configuration setup of your virtual machine. First, select the newly built virtual machine and click the Settings button in the menu. From here, you can configure everything from floppy disk drives to network cards. We're going to make a few necessary changes. First, click on System in the menu and deselect floppy. Make sure that the CD-ROM, hard disk drive, and network are checked. Now click on Display and allocate 128 MB toward video memory. If you have an older video card, I would utilize no more than 50% of the graphics card RAM. If you plan on doing any 3D work with your virtual machine, select Enable 3D Acceleration. Now, click on the storage icon. From here, we will tell VirtualBox how to boot the system in order to install the guest operating system. I assume you have already downloaded your favorite Linux ISO and have it saved on your host hard drive. Under IDE Controller, you should see what looks like a CD-ROM named Host Drive X, where X is the drive letter of your CD-ROM or DVD. Click the Host Drive X icon and then click on the CD-ROM icon to the far right side. A pop-up menu should appear. You now want to select Choose a virtual CD/DVD disk file. Navigate to the ISO you downloaded earlier and open the ISO. At this point, you've configured your guest operating system to boot up into its installation mode. No further configuration is absolutely necessary. However, you can configure your network interface card to initialize as a totally different IP address than the host machine. To accomplish this task, select the network icon in the left menu and under Adapter 1 tab, make sure Enable Network Adapter is checked and select Bridged Adapter in the Attached To drop-down menu. You should see your virtual host adapter populate with the name drop-down box. Click OK and then click Start when the button at the top of the VirtualBox application becomes available. A new window should pop up after a few seconds. It should appear as if the computer is booting up. Congratulations, you've built your first virtual machine and you're on your way to a whole new world.